Okay, my crafty friends, let's decorate some vases for the holidays. So I wanted to show you a couple that I did. I did this one with red and a little white on the bottom. I did this one I did 2 coats of white, and I'll show you how I did that. And so the second coat, I just basically fluted it out a little bit. And this one, I did 2 coats on the whole thing. And then I also did this vase that I'm going to use as my centerpiece vase. And I'm thinking I might come back in and add a little something on the bottom, but I'll come back to that later. So what you're going to need for this project is some Mod Podge, and I buy the big tub, a vessel that you want to paint, and the glitters of your choice. I have some white that I just happen to have on hand. It's from Doris. And then I have this silver and gold. So we're going to do these 2 in silver and gold, filling out to white at the top. So the first thing I would suggest is you go ahead and give your whatever vessel you're using a little bit of a cleaning with maybe a little alcohol. That way you know your surface doesn't have any oils on it and everything will stick to it. And this is just so simple. You're not gonna believe how easy this one is. So I just basically take the glass. Then these are just some little glasses that I had on hand, and I'm gonna turn them into votives to put on my holiday table. So I just stick it over my hand. If you have a regular vase, like when I did this big one, I just held it by the base. And so we're going to just get started on here. So the one thing you need to know is you need to put the Mod Podge on pretty thick. The first time I did it, I didn't put it on thick enough, and I learned the hard way. So I'm just going to take it and put a coat around the top here so that I have a pretty even coat all the way around. Okay. Then I'm just going to basically just slop it on all the way around. And like I said, you want it to be thick enough because you don't want it to dry too fast. And in order for it to, because it'll dry pretty quick, in order for that not to happen, and try to make sure you get it on there even without any gloppy pieces. And I'm going to go over it again just to make sure I have enough. I mean, like I said, this is the easiest holiday project you're going to do, at least with me. And so you can see I've got a coat of Mod Podge on there. Okay, set that aside. Take out my glitter. This is messy, so make sure you have a work surface. This is a Teflon mat that I have, and I'm just going to sprinkle this all over. Now you could leave it like this. Like I said, I did a couple that were just white, and they're so pretty. So just get a good coat on that. And set it aside. We're gonna move on to the next one. Yeah, oops, you know what? I didn't clean that, and I really suggest that you do. Just a little alcohol. It gets off any oils that might be on there, and it dries almost instantly. So it just helps with adhesion. Give it just a second to dry. That's the side. And then just coat this all the way around. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is handmade gifts, not factory made where everything has to be to spec. But I'm gonna just give it a, try to turn it a little bit. And then just put Put it on there all the way around. Make sure you get a good coat on it. And like I said, I come in and put a second coat just to make sure I get good adhesion. I'd love to take credit for this. It's not totally my idea. I saw it, I have no idea where. I saw it a long time ago on some craft blog on YouTube. They did theirs a little bit differently, and as you know, I like to go one step further than most people. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just put that on. Turn. Okay, that's on there. So we're just going to set this aside to dry for probably 10-15 minutes. While we're doing that, we're going to make Save Your Glitter. Don't let it go to waste. I know glitter's not the most expensive craft item that you own, but it is made of plastic. I'm not real thrilled about the fact that it's made out of plastic. It's not necessarily good for the environment, but hopefully I'll have these for a long, long time, and that will negate the impact. I can see I got a little piece of red glitter in there, and I'm going to get that out of there. Okay, so we're just going to let these dry for 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to come back in. We're going to do the next step, so stay tuned for that. Okay, we're back. So let's keep going. So I'm having a dilemma here whether I want to do gold on the bottom and silver on the top. I think that's what I'm going to do. So these have been drying about 15 minutes. And even like they're really pretty. If you go ahead and let it dry some more, they're really pretty. But they really do need a second coat. So I'm going to put some gold. Let's think about this for a second. I think I'm going to put some silver towards the top and then put gold around the bottom. So let's open up the silver. And I'm just going to put some more Mod Podge on here. So I'm going to put like this, in this section is where the silver is going to go. So I'm just going to like feather this in here. And this, you don't need a lot. You don't need heavy coat like you did last time for this. I mean, unless you want to, quite frankly. As I like to say, the world is your oyster. You can do it any way you want. I actually saw somebody do this and they did an ombre effect. I think I might try that on like something a little bit bigger. And then once this is all done, we're going to come back in and, hit this with some Krylon to like seal it all on there. Sorry, that's my iPad going off. Somebody's looking for me. Okay, let's get that out of the way. I don't want to get glitter on it. I think we decided we're going to put the silver here. So we're just going to add, it's not really silver, but it's close enough. You can use any color you want. I really kind of wish I'd got some copper glitter. I think copper would have been really pretty too. And again, if you don't like it, you can always do it over. You know, just add more Mod Podge and just keep on going. See how I've just feathered it towards the top so it's not solid? Actually, what color does this say this is? Hard to read. Oh, nope, doesn't say. It's probably on here, but I can't read it because the light's not that great. But it's going to be nice and warm. It's going to have a beautiful glow to it. So we're going to do the same thing here. Might go a little lighter on this one, just to like experiment. Remember, so I always say this, there's no mistakes, there's just happy accidents. Okay, set that aside. And I'll put it on this one. It's late in the day, so the color may look a little skewed. I usually like to film my videos in the morning because the light is better. I didn't do a very good job opening that. Up there, too much. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing we did before. We're gonna set that aside for 10-15 minutes, and we'll come back and we'll finish it up. Oop. There we go. Oop. It's going everywhere. There we go. So I'm going to pull my paper here. I'm sorry, I'm going to move the camera a little bit. Pull my paper out and put this into my hand. And then put what I can back in there. And the rest, well, the rest is going to go everywhere. Okay, so there you have that. We're going to come back in 10 or 15 minutes. And we're going to put on another coat. So see, this is how this looks. This is almost like a champagne silver. It's super pretty. I think this is going to be really pretty with the metallics. And like I said, you can use any colors you want. I saw somebody do one with a blue ombre, and it was gorgeous. I may try that on a bigger vessel. And when I do, I'll share that with you. But in the meantime, let's let these dry, and we'll come back and finish up. Okay, so welcome back. So I let these dry. Actually, I let them dry overnight. And you can see some of the glitter does come off. But once you spray this, which I really, quite frankly, would like it a little lighter than it is. A little lighter coat. But we're going to spray it with Krylon afterwards. And that will seal on. See, by rubbing this off a little bit, it makes it just a little more translucent. Get all the extra glitter off. Quite a bit, as you can see. And we'll put that back in the jar. Set that aside. Open up the jar. It's not that much. I don't know if you heard that or not. My husband, it's a very loud sneeze. There. Okay. We'll clean all that up later. I'll bring in the Dyson and suck that all up. Okay, so this is kind of, I did this last night, so I had time to like think about it. I think I'm going to go ahead and do another white on the bottom here. I think that'll be fun. And we're just going to do a little small amount. And again, feather it up. Okay, there's a little missing there. Try not to fill your... I probably should take the Mod Podge and put it into something else to keep it from getting contaminated. And once this dry, in the light, I was filming last evening, and it was late in the day, and you know, the late afternoon sun changes colors of things, makes things a little skewed. There, so I got a nice, I don't want any big globs. A nice, and this one, oh, there, the shaker does open. Maybe. There we go. I'm just gonna. There we go. I think that's going to be really pretty. They're all going to be pretty. Okay, so now we're going to do this last one. Oh, big glob. I don't want that glob there. No globs allowed. And then I'm going to show you the ones that were allowed to dry overnight. They looked a little streaky when they were still wet. But now that they've dried really nicely. I just want a light dusting of this on here. There. So here's the ones I did last night. And remember how they looked a little, they looked a little streaky. I don't know if it showed on camera, but they did look a little streaky. But they don't look streaky now that the Mod Podge is thoroughly dried. They don't look streaky at all. So I'm going to take these outside and I'm going to spray them, this one too, spray these with a little bit of Krylon. Now see what happens when I rub this off. It really lightens it up and just makes it subtle. I don't know, after wiping it off, you may not even need Krylon. This one, I guess I'm going to dump this glitter here. I've kind of cross-contaminated my glitter. You don't want to, well, you might want to do that, but this one, I put just a little votive in there so you can keep the inside of it clean. Probably the ideal way to do it. There you go. All the glitter's off. So there we have it. I think I'm going to come back in and do a little something on the bottom of this one. Maybe a little gold on the bottom, I think would be really pretty. So let's give it a try. First thing you have to do is tape this off. And I'm going to use a little washi tape for that. If I can find the beginning of it. There we go. Because I don't want, and you're going to have to do this in small pieces because this is round. And just put that right in there. There we go. Hope you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of covering up that bottom there. Doesn't have to be exact, but you want to get it as close as you can. I think this is just an easy, fun craft. Heck, you could do this with your kids even. With a little supervision, of course. Looks like I got it all, but there's this piece right in there. I like to get a little closer. This is a real low-tech tape. This is actually foil quill tape. Okay, set that aside. Turn it upside down. I'm going to try to get, let me get a cloth. I've got glitter on my brush. So I'm going to try to get some of that off. There we go. Got that all off. This is all going to come off. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to put just a little light, ever so slight coat, because you can always come in and add. I'm going to try to feather it up. And I've already sprayed this with Krylon, so this glitters on here pretty good, and I just want a little thin coat. Like I said, we can add if we don't like it. Once you spray with Krylon, though, there's no going back, I don't think. As far as like remove, I don't even think you could remove this. It's on there once it dries. But you can always add on top. Eventually, I think you're going to end up with a cakey mess, but now on camera, you may not be able to see, but I just did the bottom. Looks like I'm a little uneven here. There. So I'm going to take that aside a little bit of this gold glitter. Oh yeah. Now, it's going to look a little funky and heavy right now, but once it dries and we rub off the excess, I think it'll look really cool. So we're going to let this dry, and then I'll come back and show you all the finished products, and we'll move on to our next crafting project. Thanks so much for joining me today. Happy crafting. It's so great to see you. I'm so glad you're here with me. And I hope you enjoy your handcrafted holiday. If you haven't already done so, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining me again, and I will see you soon. Happy crafting.